We're back with our special dog edition of the Screen Team here on today's Talk KWOC. And, of course, you can find the Screen Team. We're all over the place. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Make sure you like us there, please. And you can also check us out on our official website at ScreenTeamPB.com. This next film is one of my all-time favorite Disney animation films. It's 101 Dalmatians. The film came out in 1961 and probably has one of the best cartoon villains of all time, Cruella de Vil,
absolutely.
man.
We were talking about that.
She is...
There aren't many that I put above somebody that wants to kill dogs to make a film. That's just evil.
Yeah.
Like the fruits of the devil, evil. It's terrible.
I don't know, Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. She'd
my number one. My number one too.
Yeah.
And then it's Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
So guys, I know that once we get into the live action, we're going to kind of talk about which one you guys like better. But let's talk about this one. Is this a film that you guys kind of grew up with?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it was re-released in the theaters in 1994, like early 1994, and my family was just taken in. My grandmother raised German Shepherds at the time. Not exactly Dalmatians, but they were white and black also. And the one that I fell in love with, the one that we kept, was the fattest one of the bunch, so I named him Rolly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and even though he was like this monster dog, he had this cute name, Rolly, kind of like Fluffy, or something like that. And he was a great companion, my best friend growing up. And so that was my personal connection to the film. It became one of my favorites, and that was my favorite character, was Rolly. He had the
I'm
funny...
hungry, Mother. I just fed you. Well, I am. Jenna, is this something that you guys watched?
It was, but actually the live action is more nostalgic for me, going back to my Grandpa and Grandma Thomas. After my Grandpa Thomas passed away, 101 Dalmatians, the live action one, came out in theaters. Yeah. And so that was the first movie my grandma took us to after the passing. Yeah. So that I like both, and I definitely like the animated one better, but the live action has a special place in my heart because of that.
Of course, we've got Cruella de Vil, who we just mentioned, and of course, you got people like you got the characters like Pongo in it as well. Petrie, not Petrie. What's her name?
Purdy.
Purdy, thank you.
Perdita.
Petrie.
Yeah,
what am I talking about? I'm thinking
Petri
of
dish.
I'm thinking of
It's a sweet name.
Land Before Time.
Oh yeah.
I always liked Lucky, man. Lucky was my favorite.
Yeah, Lucky was a great
Lucky, get
too.
down. Lucky's always on the TV screen watching TV.
And that was a cool plot point later on in the movie whenever they're, helping the dogs escape, sneaking out of the house with Horace and Jasper, Cruella's two bumbling henchmen. And they've got everyone out except for Lucky. And Lucky is still on the TV screen watching the movie right in front of them. So how do you sneak them out,
Yeah. There's many reasons why I like this film, but two in particular. One, I like it because, it's 1961 and it kind of has like a jazz, feeling to it.
The music score
is
amazing. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
In this film.
I like that. And I also like the time of period that it was animated. When you watch films like this and Robin Hood and Jungle Book, I'm sure there's a certain style that they call this animation. I don't know what that style is. But when you watch movies like Snow White and Cinderella, those have a very pristine, very clean look to them. These kind of movies don't.
They have a little bit of a grainier look to it.
A grainier, kind of dirtier look, but I like that animation.
I do too.
I always did. And, it's one of my favorite periods of Disney animation, like with Sword in the Stone and this one and Robin Hood. So, I like that portion of the animation. And the characters are good. And, we have a Labrador at home. His name is Jack, and one of my favorite scenes is at the very end when they're trying to get away from Cruella de Vil, and they're going through soot, and they wanted to, get rid of their, the whiteness and the spots and stuff like that, and they're like, should we do it? Should we be Labradors? And the mother's like, you better listen to your father. We're all Labradors. So whenever I see Jack, I'm like, you're a Labrador.
Which, by the way, for the listeners, Jack is an awesome dog, and so is BB. It's
BB,
yes.
Yeah. BB is
wonderful
a
dogs.
mixture of, man, she's everything. She is a husky, she's a beagle, and a terrier, all mixed into one. And she's got these beautiful eyes. That's where the husky is
the blue eyes
in her eyes. And we found her. Jack and I were taking a walk a long time ago, and this dog started following us. And I was like, oh man. So, I mean, we weren't anywhere near home. She must have followed us a mile, and followed us right up to the, the front door. And I'm like, Sabrina, this dog just followed us. What do I do? She's like, bring her in. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, she's adorable. I'm like,
she is.
And she's been with us for like 7 years, man.
Wow.
But she's a great dog. She's more like a cat. She likes to snuggle and just to be on you and stuff like that. But little kids, can they get past Cruella de Vil?
I did when I was a little kid, but
Yeah.
I mean, I also would watch Terminator on TBS when it would come on when I was a kid, and not tell my parents until I was an adult. So I'm probably not the best gauge for that. I think that they can, but it might be better if they're 7 and up for this movie because who wants to kill a dog? That's just terrible. That takes a different breed of evil.
That is, man.
I honestly think the only villain of Disney that actually truly scared me was Jafar from Aladdin. All the other ones, they were scary, but it was I knew they were cartoon. I knew nothing could happen, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Jafar. Ooh.
But I will give you, sorry, Matt, I will give you credit about Maleficent. The part where she turns into the dragon and she's like,
so cool.
all the powers of hell. And she's like, oh my God, she just cussed.
Right? Yeah.
This is a good Disney cartoon, man. So, I give you props on Maleficent, man. I love Sleeping Beauty, by the way.
Yeah, great
Me
movie.
too.
All right, 101 Dalmatians, that was the cartoon. We'll come back with the live action next on KWOC.